I want to talk now, about accuracy in journalism, which is a difficult thing. It's our aspiration or goal to always tell the truth. And there are mechanisms when we don't. You can complain to me, you can ring me, and I can correct things. That's the decent thing to do. If my inaccurate reporting has damaged you, you can sue me. If I were a broadcaster, you could go to the Broadcasting Standards Authority, and one thinks they would say, oh, that was wrong, that's a fact, they better put that right. What if you went to the Broadcasting Standards Authority and they said, we don't know what a fact looks like? Friend of the platform, veteran journalist Ian Wishart, did something like that recently. He joins us now on the telephone. Ian, how are you, mate?
Good morning, Sean. Well.
All right. Look, this story with the BSA, take us back to the beginning. How did all this kick off?
Two stories in quick succession. In October last year, people may remember that Dunedin suffered a big rainstorm, and it was called the wettest day in a century in Dunedin by the media in Niwa. And this was clearly wrong. I worked out very early on that day.
You came on the program, I think, to talk about this.
We did, and your listeners would have been some of the first to know it. The Dunedin had many big rainstorms in the past. In fact, what was a 100-year rainstorm to Niwa was, in fact, about a 1 in 10-year rainstorm in the great scheme of things in Dunedin. So we took the Discovery, that's TV3 and TV1, to the BSA. And the BSA said, despite the fact that each bulletin led with the fact that it's Dunedin's wettest day in a century, it was not a material fact as they defined it for the purposes of accuracy, therefore it was irrelevant. Therefore, the broadcasters didn't have to abide by accuracy rules in relation to it.
Just hang on, just slowly, Ian. The headline on which the story was based wasn't factually true, and the BSA said that wasn't a problem.
That's exactly what they said. They argued that despite what you and I, Sean, we trained in news and we know about news writing structure, which is the most important stuff is at the start of the bulletin, the start of the story.
Inverse pyramid.
Exactly. And everyone who understands and reads newspapers understands that. We all read the front page first, etc. The BSA said, we don't care about news writing structure. We decide what's a material fact in a story, and we decided the story was entirely about a civil defence emergency in Dunedin. Therefore, there was nothing material about the wettest day claims. It wasn't important to the listeners or the viewers, and is not relevant to findings about accuracy.
But so of course it is, Ian, because it allows the media, the legacy media in general, to create the create a climate, probably not the right word, an environment, probably not the right word. It allows them to encourage climate panic and push the narrative of global warming, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And it was particularly bad in both those broadcasts because they both cited the Dunedin Council as saying our drains held up really well. In fact, a later investigation is showing that the drains were not coping with what should have been a 1 in 10-year rainstorm. It was the volume of rain that fell on Dunedin, while it was big, was something that the drains should have handled well, and they didn't.
Okay, so the whole
climate change thing.
But the BSA says it doesn't matter if it wasn't a fact, it doesn't make any difference to us.
Yeah, so I took the BSA to court